If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello everyone, good evening. Probably for the folks in the US, good morning. I'm Rohan. I am your trainer for the day, and we're gonna go over a lot of awesome stuff. All right, so when you actually enroll for the course and you start your training, whenever we do theory sessions, we always have this presentation deck, which we use, which is pre-prepared before the sessions, which covers all the information that we will actually do the practicals for. So every presentation deck that we use, we have a disclaimer slide you will always see. This particularly tells us that, everything and anything that you go through this training that you see on this course is copyright of Zarin Tech. Legally, you're not allowed to share it outside, but only for the purpose of knowledge. Use it for your own benefit, right? So please be very careful in using that. Anything sharing outside this portal might bring some consequences to you. So simple thing, it's a copyright of ZaranTech. Please keep it with you. Do not share it outside. And likewise, the third slide would always be an agenda slide in the presentation deck, where we will have pointers reached out to discussing what we're going to do in that particular session or what topic we will be doing next. So for example, in today's demo session, we'll start with some introduction about myself. Student introduction, Alok already covered that. We'll discuss something about Workday history, what the job outlook, what the market looks like, what are the salary trends, and industries that uses Workday, then moving on to what the course objective, prerequisite, what audience is an ideal audience for a Workday training, what the course curriculum is, what it has, how we'll be going through fundamentals, then to Workday HCM. And as an extension to this course, we also have a Workday job readiness program, which is additional 4 to 6 hours. I'll say 5 hours is a ballpark number, which covers which shares enough information for you to understand how to update your LinkedIn profile, how to prepare your resumes, how to basically prepare yourself for the market. All right, and then closing off the session with what ZaranTech is doing here for you and why to choose ZaranTech. And there's a learning management system. You can call it a blog or an LMS, whatever is convenient to you. This is basically, you get access to this and how it's going to help you. And then last but not the least, LinkedIn Learner Community. This is something which Alok has already shared the link with you in the chat box. If you open it, please make sure that you bookmark it. There's a lot of good content out there that even if you read one blog a day, there's so much information that it will take you about 6 months to finish everything there, right? So very good content. And anytime you have any question, please, since we have about 11 people, about 8 to 11 people. So not to mix anything, to keep professionalism during the course, it's better that you raise your hand. And whenever there's a pause by my side or any trainer's side, we'll take a pause and ask you to ask your question. All right. So anytime you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll stop and ask the question. Okay. All right. So something about myself, I'll introduce myself. My name is Rohan Oberoi. I am a Workday HCM consultant at an organization. Obviously, we cannot share the name. And I've been working into the Workday ecosystem for almost 7 to 8 years now, probably 7.5 plus years now. My major expertise is into the Workday HCM and also Workday time off. That is where I'm certified in. Right. I have experience working in the US. I was in the US for about 3 years. I worked in the banking industry. And now currently I'm based out in India, working for a network security organization. And I'm currently into a senior HRIS role. And it's been a great journey. And then since Workday is my passion, I kind of met Alok and we kind of started this thing. Alok has been doing this for a while and I just kind of got back into his, I'd say, the train. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while and it's going great. And the trainings that I've delivered, I've almost delivered almost 10 plus batches so far, I believe so, or at least 8 at a minimum with ZaranTech itself. And the experience has been great. The feedback has been great because ZaranTech has a great team of, it's a great support team. They have great trainers. The content is great. Uh, their response, they're taking care of the trainees is also great. So you get best in the service. All right. So that's about me. Student introduction, I think we already covered that. A little bit about Workday for people who are new to the system. What Workday is a cloud-based enterprise resource planning. ERP is a big industry, enterprise resource planning. Workday is one such tool which has been a game changer in this market. Now, the reason why Workday got its reputation in the beginning is because when they launched Workday, it was the first tool that was completely on cloud. It was not on premise. On premise means it's not on desktops, like physical desktops. You can literally access it from anywhere if you have the right link, right credentials, and internet. That is what Workday started with. That's why it became so popular in the market. And then as and when companies started to use it, they got to know it's such an awesome tool. Why don't we use it for a whole organization? Which is explained in the second point. It offers a range of features and tools for managing and automating various business processes, including payroll, benefits, time tracking, expense management, talent management. So Workday is not just a tool, it is actually a complete life cycle, employee life cycle. We call it the ELC, employee life cycle. This is not a Workday terminology. This is a Workday consultants terminology. We call it, why do we use Workday? To manage our ELC, to manage our employee life cycle. Now, an employee is someone who start as a candidate applying to an open position. Workday is there. Your recruiting system can be Workday. Your candidate applying to the recruiting system, going through the recruiting process. Your different processes of background check, interview screening, assessments, background verification, we already covered that. Any other verification that are needed, an offer letter, counter offers, everything. And then the hiring decision is made. That also happens within Workday. Employee is hired. Then comes the onboarding, right? Employee gets onboarded. Onboarding happens within Workday. After you do onboarding, Workday, employee starts as a regular employee. If that's a manager, they have some direct reports. You have different organizations they manage. Everything happens within Workday. Their performance cycle, their promotions, demotions, compensation changes, one-time payments, their benefit elections, applying for a time off, applying for a vacation, looking at their paychecks, comes from Workday payroll. If you are in a sales team, you travel a lot, how do you manage your expense? Through Workday expense, right? How do companies help upskill their employees? Through talent management. How do you go through different learnings, compliance training, Workday learning? So Workday has so much to offer, so much to offer that it's impossible to actually learn everything in one lifetime. Yep, I said it, in one lifetime. Obviously, there are people who have expertise in multiple areas, but you would hardly find any consultants who are expert in everything. So you would always find a consultant who is very good in a particular area of the system and is also a generic. We call it master of all, jack of all trade, master of one. So you have to be master of one, but you also have to be jack of all trades. I see a hand raised. Jay, you had a question?
But couple of questions. One is, does Workday have purchase management and inventory management where the contract payments and the vendor management payments and all can be done through Workday? And does it calculate based on the timesheets and the time entries?
They do have timesheets. They do have vendor management, something with projects. There's a functional area / module called as Workday projects and administration that take care of it. And yes, there is also contract management that happens within the system, but I have never been part of how that is developed and set up in the system. So I may be not able to comment much on that. But yes, Workday does have it.
So there's a payroll module where it can be configured with VMS
Payroll
and
is different. Payroll is different. Contract management is different. Vendor management is different. And the one that I said earlier, something called is Workday procurement. That's different. But yes, the information flows through each of these function areas one at a time.
gotcha.
So yes, they are independent modules, but they are well connected together. You do set them up separately, but the data flows from one module to another.
Okay, thanks, Rohan.
And I think usually a lot of financial institutions work with that. I've not seen many of the IT companies or manufacturing industry. No, manufacturing do use it, uh, but most of the banking industries I've seen them doing it, or travel
Yep.
industry. They have a lot of
Mhm.
vendors working with them, uh, and also I think in biomedical, a lot of biomedical companies also do that. A little bit of history about Workday. Dave Duffield and Anil Bhusri co-founded Workday back in 2005, launched in 2007. It was launched as a cloud-based financial management system, and then HCM was added. But as of today, we have more HCM consultants than finance. And the market is always still looking for finance consultant. So maybe finance is not everyone's cup of tea, but yes, Workday started with finance. Then it started its line of HCM applications, and now it's huge. And in 2011, Workday went live, like it launched at IPO. It's in the share market, which has been growing exponentially. I still regret not buying the share of that when I had the chance. And then in 2013, a partnership with AWS for its cloud storage. 2015, there has been many acquisitions in 2015. Like Alok shared, adaptive planning was one of them. Adaptive Insights, which turned out to be adaptive planning, is one of them. There are many such companies which Workday acquired, and it has been like exactly what Alok said, that they are acquiring companies which they also had Peakon Analytics, which is very huge. It was a huge company in analytics. They hired that. They actually not hired, they acquired it. So acquisitions going right in front, and specifically in the COVID era, a lot of acquisitions happened.
I'm just curious to find out what is that, which is the company they're going to buy for all this AI stuff, because you know how Salesforce went into Einstein, you know, and that AI tool is literally going to take over everything. You can literally go to Salesforce and say a command, hey, I found this lead and it is here on Facebook. Go ahead and take that lead and add this to the CRM as as an entry. It does everything just based on a sentence, and that sentence is now something you can type in, but they will obviously have something where you can talk to. So literally these, you know, I don't know how many of you follow Chat GPT and all the AI stuff. You could just be laying in your bed and talking and making commands and writing programs and developing website just by your sentences. So I'm just curious, and I'm waiting to see what AI tool you know, Workday is gonna you know, acquire, companies they're gonna buy to have all this stuff being done using AI and, you know, generative prompts. So
Alok, thank you for adding that. I'm also curious because in the last 2 years, I think Workday did not do any acquisition.
oh,
And probably something is list down, something obviously they have in their list, which they should be doing. So I'm also now curious to know. So, and the last acquisition that happened was of Adaptive Insights in 2019, which I think Alok has already shared good information. Now, looking at the job outlook, probably I think this slide must be a little bit updated because a lot has changed, but this information remains true till date. What I mean by change it, we can add more job titles in here. Workday has its footprint in a lot more industries than just these three, which is IT, e-commerce, and automotive. Workday is big in medical sciences now. Workday is big in educational institutions. So Workday is also big into government agencies, like Iowa State is using Workday. Ohio State is using Workday. So many different state governments are using Workday. And if we talk about the salary trends, there's no limit to it. Literally, there's no limit to it. You work as a contract person or you work as a full-time, there's no limit to it. So these numbers really can change right and left anytime. And being a Workday consultant, it comes in many shapes and forms. Workday consultant is a very big umbrella. Within that, it covers every functional area, every different module of the system. You can be an absence person, but still on a general part, you will be a Workday HCM consultant. Or let's say if you're a Workday, hardcore Workday finance, you will be a finance consultant, right? Now, when it comes to looking at job profiles on LinkedIn, you will actually see HRI or Comp and Ben, which is compensation and benefits, or senior reporting analyst, senior integration analyst. You would see a lot of these things on LinkedIn. So anything you see, my recommendation to everyone is just go forward and apply. Don't overthink anything on that. Whatever that position is, see if you can do it, just go ahead and apply. And even if you don't do it, still go ahead and have the courage to apply, because you never know what they're asking for. Maybe you already know it. It's just that they have elaborated it too much on a LinkedIn profile. They usually boost it up a lot. If they need someone at a 2-3 years of experience, they put it like you need a 5-year experience consultant. So don't focus on that, focus on applying as much as possible. Right? I see some hands raised. Yes, Chandra, go ahead.
So do these, the government agencies that you spoke about, the state and federal agencies, do they have specific modules that they are using? Is it the HCM, or do they have modules that are specifically created by Workday for them?
Obviously, there will be modules that Workday has created. They can only use that. But which of those modules they are using, that depends on their need requirements. So for example, some companies only use Workday recruiting, onboarding, and payroll, while some companies use Workday benefits, time off, and time tracking. So not every company uses the same thing. And even if they're using, the setup is a little different than each and every organization because of the way a company works. So if you have a company, let's say you're using Workday recruiting, onboarding, time off, and benefits, and I have a company, I'm also using Workday recruiting, onboarding, time off, and absence or benefits. But the difference would be in the setup. My company works differently. Let's say I'm into the manufacturing. My company processes are different. And let's say you're into IT. Your company processes are different. Your hiring happens differently. My company hiring happens differently. So even if the module we are using the same, but the setup would be a little slightly different or a lot.
The way it's configured is different. Okay.
The configuration is different. That's why like Alok was saying, the market is so huge.
I have a quick question. Rohan, I have a quick question. Now, but since Workday has this like HCM, finance, payroll, and I don't know how many they're going to come up with here. Let's say a company only wants to use finance, but still for master data, they're going to have HCM, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's why.
So even if they want to integrate with ADP, they need to know HCM?
Yes, because see, at the very basic thing you need in the Workday system is employee data, right?
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, thank you for that.
Right now, what I get from your question is your company uses ADP, right? So if you have to transition to Workday, irrespective you're using Workday Finance or not, you need Workday HCM to set up your basic data.
Makes total sense. Thank you.
That's why I was saying master data. HCM is needed for all that employee data, the master data, and that can be used towards finance or payroll or anything else which they come up with later on, right? And I bet you they're going to come up with marketing too, like marketing cloud or something like that. I don't know. But all that stuff is needed. Yes, absolutely. So that's why, HCM is like something like the basics, the core. To start your career in a Workday, you have to learn the core. which starts with HCM. Yeah.
And even if you like, there are two companies, not two companies, there are two categories of companies that work with Workday the most. The one is the client. So for example, Sangram, in this case, your company has decided to use Workday as their one source of truth system. And likewise, my company has decided to do the same. All right. So we are the clients, we are the customers. Now we will actually hire another company who will be our implementation partner. Like they have ties up with Workday, they have certified Workday consultants who come to our company and implement Workday for us at the beginning. And then we take it on from there. So that also is another job market in itself. We'll obviously discuss about that a lot in detail later into the session, but just wanted to point it out. Again, I usually skip this slide because the numbers that are here, I'll be brutally honest, and I'm brutally honest about everything. So the numbers here vary a lot, but obviously 47K as of today is pretty less. I think 60K would be a right number, which any Workday consultant, even at a beginner level, joining as a contractor can earn if they're doing it pretty good. So I'll start from 60 as the base. And I think 200K is very common these days if you're at a senior position. But these numbers are as per the US market. Do not compare it with any other country or continent in the world. These are numbers as per the US market. So if you're at like an architect level or someone with 8 or I'll say 6 to 10 years of experience, you can pretty much get 200K easily for that position. All right. So another representation on how the job market works. And a lot of these positions, like Jay in our batch, he mentioned that Fannie Mae is always hiring. And usually a lot of companies hire Workday consultant as contract positions. The reason for that is a lot of time you have a new project in the company, you need to augment your staffing needs. So you go about hiring consultants for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, right? But once your system is set up, you actually need proper Workday consultants to be there for a long term. So again, looking at something, I started as a consultant, as a contract consultant. I did that for 3 years. I know it was not something that I always wanted, but in those 3 years, I was so much engrossed into learning that I have to learn everything that I put my hands on, so that anytime in future I get a full-time opportunity, I'll have it in my hands. And that is what happened. I literally grilled myself every single day in learning Workday to the best of it as a contract position, as a contractor, I would say. But trust me, starting as a contractor is the same as starting as a full-time position. Because starting first few years, your focus should be purely on learning, not on the money that you're making. Obviously, money will always be there. But if you spend your first 2 years grinding yourself day in, day out, your end result after 2 years, it's going to be so huge. It's going to be so rewarding. And that's all coming from a personal experience. So don't hesitate. If that's a contract position, just say yes and move ahead if you're getting that. Okay. Industries that use Workday, financial services obviously is on the top of the list. The next is technology. But in the last 3 to 4 years, Workday has acquired so many clients in manufacturing, healthcare, professional services, government agencies, nonprofit, higher education, Chicago State University or Chicago State University. I know there's a different pronunciation specifically in the US. They are using Workday. Illinois State University is using Workday. Some of the big major leagues are using Workday. So you go in any industry, Workday is there. Processes are set up differently, but you learn these core concepts, you are golden everywhere you go. Now this is all about Workday, what's happening into the ecosystem. And it has always been a pretty hot market. And another news I would share, Alok, you must be knowing this. Workday recently announced that they're going to hire about 2 to 3K employees in Workday because they're expanding a lot of their features. And as a ripple effect to that news, A lot of these implementation companies like Deloitte, Accenture, IBM, HCL, a lot of these companies who tie up with Workday and help implement Workday in other companies, they have started hiring exponentially. So that huge impact Workday has into this market. So the market is always hot. Right? Now coming to the course, what ZaranTech offers. Now in this course, you understand about Workday system. I'll say finance is not part of this course. If you want to learn Workday Finance, that's a dedicated course. But you will definitely learn a lot about Workday HCM and its features. Right? It enables you to effectively use the system to support your goals. Now, if you are already in a company using Workday, this training is going to take you to the next level so that you can be a core member of your Workday team. Right? Alok, I think by accident, this slide is in here. This is more about finance. So I think we can move to the next one, probably some exchange of slides. What do you need to learn on Workday HCM?
We'll change the slide.
Yeah, I think this also is from a finance thing, but we can skip this as well. The prerequisite, you should take it from me on learning Workday is 0. You don't need any prereq. Anything and everything that you learn in this course from Zarin Tech is more than enough. It takes you ahead almost 18 to 24 months ahead of any Workday consultant who's starting learning right now. What I mean by that is after finishing this course from here, you'll be 2 years ahead of any Workday consultant who's starting as a fresher. So don't ever consider yourself as a fresher after finishing this course. This course takes you about 2 years ahead of any consultant. Okay. What are the benefits? We offer training and certification options, which definitely it's going to add a star to your shoulder. Every instructor that we have here is experienced, and we continue to upskill ourselves, obviously. Once you enroll, you get a courseware. It's like I'll say a virtual book, just with a link. In that courseware, you will have different assignments, assessments, labs, and case studies on real-time scenarios. Right? Once you enroll, you get access to a training blog and every other session. I won't say every other. Every session is led by a live instructor. There is no recorded session. So every session is led by a live instructor, which is then recorded and shared with you. So every session you go with, you will meet an instructor like me live, and all those sessions are recorded, which you will have complete access to. So anytime you go back, you have it with you. I think we have discussed enough about what is Workday HCM. And this is about 3 different courses combined in one, which we call the Workday Mentorship Program, which has the fundamentals, like the history, the course structure, the architecture, how the implementation happens, and some basics on security. Now, the middle part is what we're going to focus on the most. Once the overview, different types of organizations, these are the first, I'll say, starting from point number 2 to point number 7. These 6 are the core pillars of Workday. I call them the core pillars of Workday. I'll probably replace point number 6 with business processes, which is point number 9. I'll interchange them. So these organizations, staffing models, jobs and positions, compensation, business process, and configurable security are the 6 core pillars of the system, of, I'll say, the HCM system. If you can master these, you're literally golden in any market of the Workday ecosystem. And we'll train you to be golden in that market. Right? And then over to the right, which I mentioned, it's an extension to the HCM courses, your job readiness program, which covers your resume creation, interview preparation, some cheat sheet on how your resume should look like, how your LinkedIn profile should be, how you can optimize it, what you can put in your resume related to the job roles and responsibility, and how the career prospect looks like. So a lot to go with. So I think fundamental is something that will be taken care maybe later. But moving ahead with, we have, I think, done a lot on Workday HCM. The job readiness program, I already shared what that is. Yes, this is the important point. By now, you already understood that, people who are either trainers here or consulting with you are all passionate Workday people. We talk only about Workday, right? But why do you use ZaranTech? Why do you choose ZaranTech? I would say is an important decision you make, right? So ZaranTech was one of the very reputed, I'll say recognized organization, and still is, through Focus Cloud. It's a UK-based company. Focus Cloud is a very well-known company, which kind of, I'll say you have like the Gartner quadrant. It's like a standard of measuring company success. Likewise, Focus Cloud is something which measures the, I'll say, the success of a Workday organization. So ZaranTech was mentioned in there. You have the link to check that. We have all the trainers from the US. I was in the US, but I moved back to India. So I'm currently in India. And each trainer has 4+ implementation experiences. Like I said, when I was in the US, I did some implementation that with full life cycle implementations, which covers your complete ELC, which is employee life cycle. Trainers, every trainer here is certified. A good proof of that is you just go to YouTube and type Workday training. You will literally see a lot of videos on YouTube. Free, of course. You can check it. You can understand how good our trainings are, how well we do in this market. And when you enroll, you get access to a tenant where every little thing that we discuss, we will practice. So it's not just a theory course, it's more practical than theory. That's why I mentioned you will be 2 years ahead of any consultant, any fresher starting into this ecosystem. After you complete your training, ZaranTech has a job readiness program. For more details, obviously connect with the support team. They'll guide you more on how to do it, how to actually leverage that to your best benefit, right? Again, once you enroll, you get full access to the courseware, which includes the session presentations, assignments, assessments, and labs. Prices, I think learning you should not put a price on learning. And few more, I'll say, bullet points on why ZaranTech is a known leader in this industry. And not just trainees like we have in this batch, we also have corporate contacts where we have batches from corporate companies and we train people and then they get placed. So we have been doing that for a while. And this was the learning management system I was talking about. Once you enroll, you get access to all the sessions for about an year. You have access to all these recordings for a complete year and for all the materials. It's a lifetime access and you have 24/7 technical support. But your focus should not be that, oh, I have access for the whole year, so I'll do it later. No, this market is so hot that if you miss the chance, you might have to wait again. So always be on your toes. You prepare, you apply. You prepare, you apply. That's how you get it. Okay. And this is the page of the learner community. I think Alok has already shared some links, some good amount of links. So please follow that.
Now let's go here. Let's talk about, this is me. This is my profile. If you want to see it, you can connect with me anytime. I'm very active on LinkedIn. It's always there on my phone. I visit LinkedIn more than TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. So what else would I have here? Okay, so right there, just one second. And like I said, we are mostly into corporate trainings. We do a lot of corporate training. So we are not just one course where it's like Workday. We do quite a number of training. So as you can see, we are very big on data science, SAP learner community. We actually, when we started this organization, we started doing SAP. So SAP, we are very big on SAP. We are the prime vendors for TCS. When TCS wants to go for any training program, they go through us in SAP. We are the prime vendor. I'll show you that too. Right now, at this point, we have about 1,400 students getting trained for TCS, just for TCS. So TCS is our big player when it comes to SAP training. As a member, this is your Workday learner community. As a member, you will see something like this. This learner community is for anybody and everybody. We post so much content that people are tired of the content. We post 2 to 3 times a day. Our content is very, very good because we get always that saying that, oh well, and we get lots of reposts on content. So our content goes from, like, I'm just going to open documents so you can go to post and go documents. We post all sorts of contents. Like, we post lots of videos, we post a lot of interview questions, we post everything. And if you see everywhere, it is our logos. Everything is built in-house. We do not build anything outside. Everything is built in-house. Everything is developed in-house. All the session PowerPoints, like, for example, stand out as a top candidate job interview for Workday finance job seekers. Now, this is not your typical question answer. It is a star format. So we use a lot of different tools and techniques to give, help the community, because these days marketing, that direct marketing, or spending your marketing money on Google AdWords and Facebook ads don't work. People don't like that. People don't like to be sold to. You know what I'm saying? You give value in a community. If they want to sign up, they'll sign up. So that's what we do. As you can see, we are in many communities online, and all we do is post content so people can use. And my chat box is literally, I get at least 300 chats a day asking this, asking that, get me a job, whatever, all that stuff. We have about 40 some courses right now. We offer in Workday, quite a number, quite a huge number. One second, let me just show you that. So let's go here. Yeah. So about 40 courses, corporate training. So give me 1 second, I can show you that. Yeah, so that's our course catalog. I'll just show you. Sorry, my tabs are too many tabs open. Sorry about that. So this is our corporate catalog. This is what our main business is. We deliver quite a number of corporate trainings to customers, mainly in US. So this is our corporate catalog. All these trainings we have provided. And yeah, so all these are customers. We direct work with every one of them. We don't work through vendors. So that's that. So yeah, there's a lot of content. We have everything. And sometimes we basically post more content than Workday itself. We have blogs, we have videos, we have everything. So if you go to youtube.com, I think we have a learner community videos right there. It's full of content. So you can see there's so many videos posted here. Playlists, we have playlists for, I don't even know how many. So yeah, we have playlists for everything. So if you just want to, like, what the question answers, full playlist. So we have like all these question answers for every module in Workday. You want to take your adaptive question answers, business process, calculator fill, all of this. So a huge amount of content library. This is all, again, developed in-house. Everything is done in-house. We are a firm believer of good content. So all this stuff is posted and people just share all this content, and that's how you guys are here. So any questions about anything? Okay, let's talk about our step-by-step program. I think you might have received this document. The step one is Workday Fundamentals, which talks about architecture, history, how Workday came into existence, all that stuff. Then comes your Workday HCM training program. Then comes your Workday job readiness program. Here is the most important document. A lot of you are interested in how job readiness is done. How do you guys help this? How do you guys help that? So we are not a consulting company. What we do is just think of us like a college. What we do is we provide you the best of the best training, bring the best educators. We do not work with college professors to train you. We work only with consultants who have that real-time experience, so they can bring that real-time experience to you and train you that way. Our job readiness program is very detailed. We cover literally everything in here. We cover how to build your resume, how to resume cheat sheets, LinkedIn profile creation. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, the first thing you want to do is LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn. If you need any help, we have huge amount of help. We have documents after documents, how to build your cheat sheet. How to build your LinkedIn profile. Now, LinkedIn profile is not just going into LinkedIn and building a profile with your name and everything. You have to optimize it so a recruiter or whoever can find you. Like if you see my profile, it's optimized. It's 100% optimized because, obviously I want to be found when somebody's looking for corporate training. This is one thing people always mention here is that I am a director, I am this, I am that. No, this area should be all about how you can help. That's it. So that's one of the big things I did not know. So when optimizing, I kind of change all that. And then, this is literally a free banner LinkedIn provides for you to advertise, So we advertised here. So a lot of things have changed here myself. Like I said, it's pretty much optimized. So usage of keywords, all that stuff we talk about in our this document right here, the cheat sheet. So all that help we provide you. So it's all here. Then we talk about roles and responsibilities. What are different types of roles? What is each role's responsibility? We talk about what is a career path. We talk about what different types of projects are there in Workday and responsibilities, summaries, interview tips, questions, Workday sample resumes, how to write up a very good resume, how to use social media to land your next job. Sometimes people come and ask us, hey, we need sample resumes for Workday. There is probably like 400 resumes right here. So resources wise, we have everything. Another thing recently we just came up with, which I think Rohit posted, was let's say you applied to a job. Okay, you applied to a job. Now I'm going to ask this question. Let's see how many can answer. If you cannot answer, that's fine. You applied to a job and you got a job description. Okay, you have 1 week to prepare for that interview. How would you prepare for that interview? We have a beautiful technique we use to prepare for that. Based on your job description, how would you prepare for that job interview? All right, well, anyways, so we have a program for that as well. It is basically using AI to prepare you for that job interview. And we have that. We talk about that as well. All that stuff is posted on our learner communities, and we help you with all of that. So, any questions?
Hey, Alok, I have a quick question for you.
Please.
Yeah, as you said, and everyone knows well that USA has a huge market of Workday. But if I talk about EMEA or any European country, so are there the same and good amount of opportunities in Workday as well?
Workday opportunities is all directly related to how many customers are there. So if you do a quick research on Google to see the list of customers based on continents or regions or countries, you will know. So obviously US has the most amount of Workday customers. Then comes Canada, then comes UK, then comes India, then comes France, and like that. So based on that, you have the requirements. So yes, in Europe, UK is the leading country where there is many requirements. India, the requirements are there, but most of the requirements in India are because not because there are Workday customers, but because
Mhm.
Workday Workday jobs are offshore there. So there are a lot of companies working in support or not implementation as much, but working in support and stuff who are working offshore for a US client or a Canadian client or a UK client. So that's why there are that many jobs in India.
All right, got you.
Yeah. Any other
Mhm.
question? Anybody? I see Pratima, Sangram, and Andrew hands raised. Go ahead and ask your questions, please.
So most of the jobs I'm looking at in LinkedIn for Workday, they need a little more than the basic HCM module. They require experience with recruiting or talent acquisition or compensation or payroll, one of these modules on the top of the HCM. So last time there wasn't anything from ZaranTech which was helping on this. Now, have you guys added additional trainings on recruiting or talent acquisition?
Recruiting or talent acquisition. Like
Or the recruiting module or talent acquisition module of Workday?
No, we have separate courses.
You do have them now.
Yeah, we have about 40 some courses.
And all these are live, the recruiting and the talent acquisition modules?
No, we do for live training, we do Workday HCM, integration, and finance and payroll. That's it. And for video trainings, we have all the other platforms, other trainings on video platform.
On video, okay, got it.
It's those are the platforms easy because if we do recruiting, benefits, and advanced compensation, all these courses are right here. And it's not just a course where you watch a video. Our courses are very, very detailed. I'm just going to step you through it. Just take a look. This is our course. You get 25 videos, duration, everything. Test, all this stuff is generic. But anyways, you get the videos, you watch the videos. It's in sets. After that, you get all the assignments. You get assessments. You get all the lab activities. You get multiple choice questions, interview questions, ebooks, LinkedIn cheat sheet, all of this as a part of the course. And it's a very premium price. You only pay $59 a month. Or you can buy it for a year for $299. If you want to learn Workday using video. Now, our video courses don't come with tenant access. That is a separate charge because obviously that's not going to be included anytime. We have to pay ourselves. So.
Okay, one last question and I'm done. So now I'm saying I'm no Larry, I listen, but when you're known in the market, like you're a you're a talent acquisition professional or you're a senior recruiter, how do you suddenly change into a Workday professional? This has been on my mind, like when I'm going to go into my LinkedIn and change my profile suddenly that I know Workday and I'm going to start working on it. How does this transition happen? How easy is this? Like, I mean, how do you show this?
Okay, so let's back up a little bit and I'll explain. Okay. So if you want to learn Workday, there are only two options. There is only two options. Either a Workday company hires you, Workday partner, or Workday itself hires you, like Accenture or whatever. They hire you, and then they train you, and then they make you a Workday consultant, and you move up in your Workday career. That's one way. Or or the other option is you learn from an organization like ours, and then add that to your resume, saying that, hey, I have these many years of recruiting experience. I took Workday because I like Workday and I've learned it myself. I've learned this. I have learned this. I did this many labs. I worked on a tenant. I practiced this. I did this. I did this. I did this. And now I'm looking for a career in Workday. Just say exactly how it is. Right now, at this point, if I just show you experience level of entry level of this much, and this, I just did a search right in front of you. let's do this something else. So internship, 64,000 jobs are there in US.
Yeah, Alok, I think your search, got to be more refined. So I think I also have a similar question. So part of the job readiness, right? So if we were to really present ourselves as an entry level, obviously you either get a chance to interview or probably you may not really get a chance. But I think we've got a couple of folks in this particular group who also attended in the past, and they've also attended the training and they weren't really successful. So how do we get to know their experience based on what you guys are going to train and how well it's actually helping us to get the interview readiness, prepare our portfolio within LinkedIn or probably just as on a piece of resume? I mean, that's what is very important, at least for
So
me.
yeah. So let's, when you say they've not been successful, 90% of the people are not successful for few reasons. They are literally following the same technique they followed almost 5 years ago. Let me learn something, let me build a resume and share it with a staffing company who promotes my resume or gets me a job. Those days are gone. Those days are absolutely gone. The one thing which works these days is get your LinkedIn profile done. Treat your LinkedIn profile like a resume. Treat your LinkedIn profile like a landing page. Communicate with people. Network with LinkedIn profile. Network with LinkedIn communities. Network with the people in that field. And then promote yourself and be ready for a job. And I think there is a new feature LinkedIn just added. I think I posted that, or I'm going to be posting that. I don't know where I posted, 1 second. But a lot of people don't even know about that feature. It's like you can basically market, like go to a company's profile and say interested. You can say that you are interested in that position. Oh yeah, this one. So it's a good thing for us, but it's not a good thing for a lot of people. A lot of people, almost 80 to 85, 90% of the people have no idea the power of LinkedIn. So what this feature says is that you can literally, let's say you go to let's say you go to Kainos and you can go to their company page and say interested. So when Kainos recruiters are looking for people who are interested in the internship level job, those profiles which have clicked interested will pop up right away. There's lots of features. We talk about all that stuff. So that's the way you start. That's the way literally you have to start applying, and you have to start preparing. You have to start promoting yourself on LinkedIn for that job role, and you have to apply for all these jobs. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think what he's asking is, I'll look like this, like, so I'm going to be let's say the subject. I have, let's say, 15 plus years of experience in talent acquisition, and I'm applying for an intern role in Workday. So, like a fresh college graduate, it's a no-brainer. Okay, he's learned it. We'll give him, $40 an hour or whatever, 40,000 a year, and he can start. But I'm already established. I've done this for a while. How do I suddenly start, all over again? And will the market consider somebody who's as tenured as me for a new Workday role? Is my question.
Yes. So I can answer that. I surely can. And then I can also have Rohan answer. Rohan, do you want to take that question first, and then I'll answer my part from what I know?
Sure. So I'll answer it in short, and I hope that makes sense. Is if you have 15 years of experience, you just have to apply that experience on a different tool. What I mean by that is, if I would have been in your place, I will not forget that I have 15 years of experience. I'll take advantage of that and apply to Workday jobs. And from this course, I'm learning Workday. So technically, I'm learning Workday using that 15 years of experience. I'll be applying everything I learned. See, Workday is not like you're doing different processes. Workday is not you're changing the employee life cycle. You're just doing the same things, but with a new tool now. And you can learn the tool any time of the day. So the company is not looking for someone who is a Workday expert. Obviously they are. But what I mean is that they're looking for someone who understands the ecosystem, who understand the processes, and then they use Workday to apply that. So for a 15-year experience, you won't be applying for internships to start with. You'll be applying for senior level positions. So all you have to do is convince the interviewer in front of you that you know Workday, you have this much years of experience, you're a good team player, you understand how to take the requirements and work on it. And as you start, like I said, spend about the first year or two grinding yourself into learning the system. But your first focus should be get into the door, get your foot into that Workday door, be it a contract position or a full-time position. As soon as you get real-time access to the tenant, you'll start learning so rapidly. You'll be like, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. That was easy. So that is how you use your, anyone coming even from a non-HR background, don't forget that you have an experience. Your experience counts for something. And that is, you just have to apply the principles, the learnings from that experience, now using Workday. That's the only difference. You're not a fresher anymore. That's for sure.
I just want to share my experience with regard to my job search on Workday. So I completed this HCM course with Zarin Tech. It's only been a month now, and I also have exposure to Workday recruiting because I'm working as a recruiter and I've worked on that module in my last previous two companies. But then what I personally felt is whenever I apply for a job, with regard to entry level jobs, I think there are very few that are available in the market, because even if I have also tried applying for that student graduate Workday jobs where they are considering freshers, or someone who graduates from a college and all that. But then I don't think based on our experience, they are considering us for that, because my application is getting rejected there. But I won't say I've not got any calls from recruiters. It always gets done with the pre-screening level. So where, they do ask about our experience, our exposure on Workday, and then they go into their implementation section. So in most cases, they are looking for minimum 1 year of implementation experience is what I felt with regard to most of the entry level roles. So I just want to know if you all can help us on searching jobs where we can start with whatever basic training we have got and that minimum exposure we have with certain modules on Workday without looking much on the implementation side, if we can look for jobs and able to crack it.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question here. When you said if we can help us, before I give you some steps on helping, what have you done from yours besides applying, right? Direct applying. What have you done to network and to, on your LinkedIn profile and everything, all that stuff? What have you done? What I'm really asking is, how did you showcase everything on your profile besides the fact that you have that experience? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understood, because I have mentioned about the course completion with Zarin Tech, and I have been connecting with quite a lot of Workday professionals on LinkedIn. I've been personally getting in touch with them to check if, to start with, even if there is a part-time role or a contractual position, also I'm good to go with that. But yeah, I think most people have been giving me a similar feedback. There are a lot of jobs for implementation roles, and they're also looking for experience, a basic level experience in that. I think that's what I heard. But then they said they didn't deny saying that there aren't any entry level jobs at all, but that they just have to keep looking for it, and they have told they will notify whenever any opening comes up, which will be on par with my background. So that's the feedback. But I've been trying my best to connect with most of them to ensure that if anything comes up, that they'll be able to loop me into it.
Right. No, but that hump, you have that hump. Yes, it will take some time because it's a beginning. But once you do cross that, it's a beautiful journey you'll have. But yes, that the first hump, yes, it is there. I totally agree with that. There's no denying. But constant trying, constant networking, constant communication, constant showcasing all that 10 years of recruiting experience is what is going to play a big role in you differentiating yourself from like an entry level position or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. But one thing which is on your side is this, that there's so many openings. You know, also you have to understand all these consulting companies or all these customers looking for these Workday roles, they're not going to find 8 years experience with certified consultants with implementation experience. They're not. Well, they will find it, but they can't hire them because they're already working. So where do you think they'll go to? They'll go back to those associates, training those associates. And yes, also just to add here, we have been working with probably like 3 different consulting companies here in the US, and they have few Workday customers, who they work with. Not few means not like 2 or 3. They have about 10 or 15 Workday customers they work with directly. So we have been in talks with them and those customers directly, because our program's such a huge hit that the customers also look at our programs. I've been in touch directly with the customers, like many customers. So we have been in talks in the US directly with the customers through the consulting companies, because obviously we are not a consulting company, so we can't do anything about it. To maybe have a internal program where they have, and we take over that program and train them on their own platform. You understand? On their own system, and bring in our cream of the crop. So because we train about 100 to 150 students a month, and they come and say, hey, we need 15. So we bring the 15 cream of the crop and then give them those 15. They interview the initial round, and then we train them on their platform, and they pay for it, obviously, and then those people grow in that company. Do you understand what I'm saying, or did I confuse you a little bit?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So we've been working with many, well, actually 3 to 4 consulting companies. 4th one is in line right now. But we've been working similar way in India as well, because India demands huge too. So both we've been working with, because in India there is another good thing for us is that many companies in India are in support projects. Okay, and they are like, let's say XYZ company in India, they deliver support projects to Workday customers. So we work directly with those companies, and they are very receptive, because they are ready to hire all these people who are coming out of our training, because then they have their in-house training, because they are only working in the support side. Support is the starting level. So yeah, it's in process for us, but since we are not a consulting company, we can only do so much. So what we do and what we offer is the training part, where we get you to that point where you are good at Workday and you know what Workday is. You have practiced on Workday. You have practiced quite a lot on Workday. So that is what we bring to the table with our students. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Somebody else has questions?
Yep. All right.
Go
Alok, looks like Rohan dropped, but however, if you were to really, you said there's a little bit of confusion. I'm sure, most of the folks also is kind of running those confusion in their mind. You said India doesn't have too many of, leads, but however, you said you're working for 2 to 3, 4 companies whom you're training and also upscaling their skills on particular to separate modules. So on that note, will you be able to give us, for this particular batch, some leads instead of just limiting to training and interview preparedness or resume preparedness, right? Can you also provide us leads? And if you are willing to and open to give us leads, how would that take over?
Well, I'll give you the lead right now.
Leads in sense, let's say you said TCS, right? TCS, I've been with TCS for almost 7 years.
No. TCS is separate. TCS does not work.
Oh, you don't do TCS anymore?
We are not helping TCS on Workday.
Oh, okay. SAP, right? You said?
Yeah. We do SAP for TCS. SAP, Salesforce, Oracle, DevOps, Cloud. So TCS, I don't know. One second. I One second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So contact her. They have started. Mention my name if you want to. Her company is Agilisis. They have many. They are consulting, and they have started I think 2 offices in India. They are hiring quite a lot. They also Agilisis. So I'll open the company. So contact Samit and Suman. Yeah, they train. So let's say they have a project, okay, for a customer, and they need 10 people to be trained who are coming from an HR background. They will get those people, and they want to train them with us because they will put them on their own project. Does that make sense? Like this, then I think with HRMS, yeah, this one, they have quite a number of projects as well. So this company is also pretty good. Always talk about ZaranTech, our name. Our name precedes us. I have lots of tips and tricks also to make your resume a landing page. Because see, what I always feel, right? I've always felt is that rather than what you say, what you talk about, people are not very receptive to listening to you because they have such a short attention span, like a goldfish. So what I normally do is I just send them my profile. The minute they drop on my profile, they're like immediately impressed. Why? Because the content we have, and they're like, oh, and then that starts. So I have given some tips and tricks to people where I've asked them to post a feature post, which is like a feature post which goes like this, and it just says about me, straight up about me, a video. And you can make a video about your experience because that is 1,000 times advisable because people click on it. And that's how. And then I have also said many times to people that just go to Workday, just click on Workday right there, go to every group, join every group, and just showcase, just say, hey guys, my name is this. I have these many 15 years of experience as a recruiting manager. I love Workday. I started training. I've learned this. Just be very honest about this. Here is a video about my introduction. Here is my resume. Done. And don't post your resume as a Word document. You know what I'm saying? That nobody cares about that. Just take that link, make this link public. It's a Google Drive. So you can just literally make this link public, or just go to Canva and make a resume. What is stopping you? Just go to Canva and do a research for a resume template. These tips are like, so I can give you all day long, but these are like, I know these are like not, you probably already done this. Make a resume like this is free. Make a resume like this, customize this template, make a resume, but don't share the resume. Share a QR code. So let's say you have this resume. Let's say you downloaded it, and let's say this is your resume. Let's say this document is your resume. Just go here, Control C, make it public. Obviously, you'll make it public. Okay, the share. Share means you can make it public. Access, the link can be accessed by anybody, and then just go to Bitly and make it get a URL for this. I think you all know, not URL, sorry, QR code. Let people scan it and then see your resume, or make a QR code for your video. A video, you can actually make a video on Canva as well. You go to About Me templates, and let's go take a category of presentation. I think About Me. Let's do a presentation. So, take any one of these presentation. It's all free. And just let's say, let's go to professional. If you guys know this, then I don't have to share. I'm just showing you some different tricks. That's it. Like say, like let's just customize this. You can just customize this. Pretty simple. Drag and drop your picture. Whatever you want to do. You have an upload picture or whatever. Sorry, we have lots of pictures and stuff just because we do quite a lot of stuff. And just customize this template. When you customize this template with your experience and all that stuff, like add another slide, whatever you want to put here. I don't know. I'm just, your documents, your materials, whatever you want to put, your resume, about us, and then all you do is I'm just sharing just like that. But then, present this. What I mean by presenting this is just like do a presentation and create a present video. I mean, you can, there is a video option here. Yeah, present and record. So present and record will literally go create a present and record, right? Go to the recording. It's going to start my camera and then start recording. So 3, 2, 1, start recording. A circle will come here and that recording will happen because you are showing your face and everything. And then end the recording. And then you'll get a video, download that video, showcase on your profile, straight on the feature page. Talk about yourself. Does that make any sense, anybody, or was I going too fast? It's all about showcasing yourself. So yeah, there are a lot of different ways to showcase yourself on LinkedIn, but connecting with the communities and showcasing yourself is a huge deal. So like, right, I can't even join because I've already joined like 200 groups. But yeah, there's lots of jobs. And who is looking for jobs in the UK? Sorry, Europe? Somebody here said Europe, right? Not answer. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, look, this was me.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to go to the Europe side, so just go to Focus Cloud. Focus Cloud is very good. Yeah, it's
Okay.
the biggest recruiting consulting company for people in the European side. Also, also one more thing is that make sure you're always connected to people who are influencers. Do you have any idea what? Anybody? How many people are here? Andrew, Vikram. Do you guys know what an influencer is? Hello. All right. Okay, just connect with the influencers on LinkedIn. But if you want techniques on that, I can surely share with you. And an influencer is basically a person who posts a lot of content about Workday and is connected to many other people. That's it. So you connect with them and start posting comments on their post, or connect with them, make friendship and everything, and they can help you. So.
So Alok, see, I'm currently living in Canada. So, I mean, is there a possibility where like US-based companies hire people from Canada, like if a contract or even a full-time role where we can work from Canada, though the client is going to be in the US? I mean, do they consider such candidates? Yes. Or it's only? Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Because yeah, I have been seeing a lot of job openings for in the US, and in most cases they have specifically mentioned even if it is remote work, the candidate has to be present in the US, like anywhere in and around, or has to be a green card holder. I mean, green card and citizen is like for very few job roles, but then not many companies I see that they are considering someone outside US, where even if it is a remote position.
Right. No, Canadian. It's easy to come in and go in from Canada. So they if you have that talent, if you have that knowledge, yes, they do prefer. But since you are starting your career, I would just say look into Canada first and then go from there. Right now, the roles, there's so many job openings. I can't even tell you how many job openings. But implementation role and all that role does not apply to you. Certification does not apply to you. You don't work for a partner company. So don't get into stuff like that right now. Okay. So look for a job where you can literally tell them that I have 10 years of experience in recruiting, but I am just a starter on Workday. How can you help me and stuff like that, and showcase what you have. And that's what's going to help you. And if you want to apply for internship roles or, entry level roles, it's all up to you. But that start is difficult, but that is, if not that, what is the other best thing? Nothing. There is nothing else, right? You want to get into Workday. What is the other option? Is there any other option? No, there is no other option.
Yeah.
This is the only option. Or else you can try to join a partner company and apply for them to them as a job and work there for 3-4 years, and then hope that they move you to a Workday role and then train you and then go from there. That's the other option. So, which is a long option. So, if you want to get into Workday, there is only one option at this point: train with companies like ours and go with them. Also, there are some not to do things, and I have written that down. And I'll tell you one of the things don't do. Don't ever, please don't ever join a company which says, we will provide you training with 100% placement guarantee. Don't do that. For $699, if somebody gives you 100% placement guarantee for a $70,000 job, if you find out and you are successful, please do let me know. I'll give you 300 students a month. So don't join companies like that. That's just a marketing stint that they play. But anyways, guys, it is about 11:30. We've had a beautiful 2-hour session. Thank you so much for attending. A lot of good information, a lot of good sharing, a lot of sharing knowledge. But we are here. We can only do so much, which is training. I wish we could have a direct connect with the Workday customer where we can train our people and place them, but that is not there. So we can just train and work through other consulting companies and help these people get to find a job or whatever. So, but we are not a consulting company. Okay, we can only prepare you till that. So, all right. I don't have anything else to add. Anybody? If you have any questions, ask me, or else we will conclude this session. All right. Thank you very much for coming. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Alok. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.